Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
Hey everybody, it is Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And I'm in the middle of a rainstorm, so enjoy that ASMR. This week is super cool because we're just going to cover an amazing documentary that Keeley found for us. Again, another good one. This one's super weird. And no murder. Almost murder, but no actual murder this time.
Yeah.
Which Matt still couldn't sit through this one with me.
Oh, really?
We did sit through the end of Love Island, though.
We did.
No one's surprised. Amaya Papaya got it.
Yes.
I don't think they even asked her if... Oh, they did. It was actually Brian who got to decide if he was going to split or take it all. And I think Brian knew, if I take this money, someone's going to kill me. Someone will put a hit out on him. Right?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But they were sweet. She was fun. Everyone feels fine about the end of it. But the highlight for me was actually when they all go on the final dates.
Yeah.
Huda and Chris going on their candlelit dinner on the water was magical in that it was the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life. Do you feel different? I feel like...
No.
Oh, I feel like Huda showed us again and again and again that she's not terribly emotionally mature. So the fight that they had in the bed where she was like, if you don't cuddle me by the count of 3, I'm going to ruin your day tomorrow. I was like, come on, Huda. And he's like, I'm not going to participate in this. And then the next day, Huda made, I think, the correct choice and broke up with him at dinner, but then was surprised when he wasn't going to carry her across the water. How did you feel as you were watching Huda? You're still fully Team Huda.
I am, but can you get behind maybe one conspiracy theory, and that's what I'll name it.
Ooh, I love a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. That maybe certain groups, maybe Latino women, Middle Eastern women, maybe act a certain way, and maybe her group of women act like that with men. Can you get behind
like there's
that,
a
maybe?
Cultural thing happening?
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, I am first
and that's maybe not necessarily emotionally immature, and maybe can you get behind she's been horrifically traumatized in that villa, and maybe she's got a little bit of Stockholm syndrome going on in that villa with the people that have traumatized her are still in that villa, and he has treated her like garbage also.
Chris? You think
Yes.
Chris has?
Yeah.
I think Chris has been pretty direct, though. And I think he said, hey, this is why this is happening. This is how I feel. And instead of adjusting and seeing, like, he's changed how he's moving based on what she said that she needed. He's checking in with her. He's saying, what do you need from me? And then he goes, hey, you did this. I didn't sit right for me. I need you to move differently. And she's like, this is why I move that way, and I'm going to continue to move that way. And I think that just kind of showed that they weren't ever going to be able to match up. Mm-hmm. I think is where are there cultural differences? I mean, absolutely. I had seen a couple of videos on TikTok. I'm not at all. I'm ignorant to the nuances of that in a lot of ways, but I still think she's got to say, okay, I'm coming at this in a way that's making him uncomfortable. I'm coming at it a way that he feels disrespected, so I can adjust my approach here. And I think she
can't do that because of what she has been through in that fucking place. I don't understand how you can't see that. How can you not see? You can't make a pie with not all the ingredients. That girl does not have all the ingredients to make a pie. She doesn't. It's not coming out correctly. When you lump it all together and say, oh, she's emotionally immature, she sucks, you can't, no, Done. I don't agree with that.
I don't think she's irredeemable. I just don't think they match. I just don't think that they were going to be able to.
No, I think that's okay to say. And I think it's okay for her to go, yeah, let's break up. I don't think this is okay. Right? I thought that was completely fine to do.
I think that was the right move in that moment. I think that she felt pressured to behave otherwise. And I think she made the correct choice. Which is not pretend to continue to work on this.
Yeah, pressured to do every single thing she did in there because of how she was treated by every single person in that place. Every single person in that place made what she did after that. Every single person. What she did after how she was treated, that was the rest of her game in there. How she was treated.
I think after everything went down with Jeremiah, I don't think it was ever going to work out for her after that.
No. Nick never apologized. Alandria, maybe.
Or they apologized.
Weird.
Cut her back underneath again.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
garbage.
It sucks to be her.
I mean,
in that place.
And then people just completely attack her over and over and over again and lift him up on some goddamn platter. And I don't think he needs to be held on a soapbox. The man did not carry her off of that fucking floating.
No, it was
whatever
cold.
That goddamn thing was.
He's like, we are done. Matt and I sat there and we were in shell shock. And we're like, you were just cheersing and kissing.
Yeah.
And now you won't even... She's this big. How's she supposed to get over there?
Yeah. There was a side-by-side of when Jeremiah left and then when her and Chris, like her and Jeremiah broke up and he left, and then when her and Chris broke up and he left, and it was disgusting. They hugged and kissed and said goodbye and it was very amicable and they were very sweet to each other. And they were sorry and sad to leave each other go and see each other go. And he just said, I'm not carrying you. Chris was just like, fuck
and he's
off.
Like, we're not going to be friends.
We're done.
We're not friends.
Be
She's
friends.
Like, can we joke around? And he's like, no, we're done. And it was like,
no. You want to talk about an emotionally immature person? Are you joking?
Well, he was clear, but holy shit, it felt savage. It was like,
yeah. I
that
don't.
Was intense. But yeah.
No.
I'm glad that it's over, honestly. I don't even know if I'm looking forward to the reunion much, to be honest.
Ugh.
And here's the other thing. That show is only 2 months, like a month and a half, 2 months, but it's every single day. So there's so much media to consume around that show.
Yeah.
And then I had already complained about this, like having to know everyone's backstory and vetting everything. Mm-hmm. And then you find out stuff on the, that looked weird. Finding stuff on the outside that you have to keep up with. I'm exhausted by it. And Matt's like, what is it going to be our new show? And I was like, we are going to rot in bed and scroll. And that's what we're going to do for a little bit. We might watch some On Patrol.
Yeah.
Just because you don't really have to pay attention to it and I can have it on in the background.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I told you I had a story to tell you. During our last night, Matt and I are in bed and we're just doom scrolling on our phones. And it's late, so everything is hilarious to us. Sam is in the bedroom with us because I have my beautiful, decent kitten, Marceline, and she's playing with Sam on our bed and we're all chatting. And I get a video, and the premise is it's a prank. A guy's walking out of a Walmart with a big thing, and the Walmart guy's like, I need to check your receipt. And instead of handing him a receipt, he hands him a note that says, are you circumcised, yes or no?
Oh.
And that killed me. It hit me at the exact right time. And the guy calls over a manager and makes a to do over it. But I'm laughing, and Matt's like, what are you laughing at? And I show Matt. Matt starts laughing, and Sam's like, what are you talking about?
No.
What's circumcised? And I was like, oh shit.
No.
My son is 12 years old. I have 2 twin boys, and we got them circumcised. And I was like, oh, And Matt and I are already laughing, and I was like, when you were a baby, the doctor cut a little piece of skin off your penis. And Sam's like, what the fuck? And saying it out loud sounds fucking insane. And it sounds like a joke. And Sam's like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Why would you do... No, you didn't. What are you talking about? That's so out of left field. And I'm laughing so hard, and Matt is laughing so hard, and Sam doesn't believe us.
Yeah.
Henry, our other son, is walking around the house, and he walks in, he's like, what is going on in here? And I said, Henry, do you know what being circumcised means? And he goes, yeah, that's where they cut part of the skin of your penis off. And I said, yes, correct. See, Henry knows. And Sam's like, why would you do that to us? And Henry goes, you did it to us?
Oh.
He's like, what are you talking about? Just horrified. And we're like, oh my God, which is just making me laugh so much harder. And then we like have to explain, like, there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
And God, before somebody gets in the comments and talks about the genital mutilation, okay. It was my parenting decision, and my children are not mad about it. And if they decide that they're mad about it later, we can discuss it in the therapy that they're going to have for 1,000 other reasons because of me. This isn't going to be the number one thing. Mm-hmm. But we explain the reasons behind it and like how exactly ish it gets done. And Henry's like, oh, okay, so it doesn't make it smaller. Like, no, we didn't make your penis
I like
smaller.
that his main concern.
It was like, did you make it smaller?
Woof.
No.
Oh, babe.
I just thought, that was last night. And I was like, I can't wait to tell Keeley this is a perfect lead-in to our show today.
That was a wonderful segue.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
So we are going to talk about a Hulu true crime doc today for True Crime Story Time.
True crime story time. Yes. This is called Wicked Game and Devil in the Desert. It has 3 episodes. They're not very long, honestly. Some of these can be like hour and a half. This first episode was only like 30 minutes long, 35 minutes long. It was kind of nice.
It was nice because you get through it. Yeah.
Anyway, this first episode was called Treasure Hunt. Holy crap. Anyway, it's a very good segue. So this takes place in California in Newport Beach in 2012. So we meet a lovely gal named Mary Barnes, and she moves to Newport Beach from Florida. And we get a little, I guess, background on Newport Beach. Have you ever been to Newport Beach?
My grandparents live in Newport Beach. Love Newport Beach. I love Balboa Island. If you ever watched the show Arrested Development, there are frozen banana stands. That is a real thing.
Yes, I love it.
And you will be attacked by seagulls if you get
it.
them.
It is one of my favorite places to go in California, Newport Beach. It's literally, he says when they're explaining, so we meet one of the district attorneys there, and he's explaining that Newport Beach is, you can have a $300,000 house at a stoplight and a broke surfer.
A Bentley next to you, yeah.
And it's just literally that exact same thing.
It's
all the
houses, Hollywood version
right.
of what you expect California to be. Gorgeous people.
Yeah.
Very chill.
Yes.
Lots of money.
Lots of money. The houses are literally almost right on top of each other. They called it, what did they say? Beverly Hills by the Sea, which is just a really good explanation of what it is. But it's so nice. And it's not as kind of, I don't know, like Venice Beach is kind of not my taste.
It's like the gritty rock and roll kind of. It's not that vibe at all. This is
not like that at all.
Wholesome.
Yes.
sexy Baywatch kind of vibes. Yeah.
Anyway, so we get a little background on Newport Beach, and then we get the story. So we meet Mary Barnes. She moves to Newport Beach from Florida. She has a friend that says, you need to come out here. It's just so great and wonderful, and just come visit, and you'll probably want to live here. And she's like, okay, I've got nothing to lose. I might as well. So she takes a chance and moves out to Newport Beach and meets a guy named Billy Bannon, and they become boyfriend, girlfriend. She moves in with this guy named Billy, and Billy has a roommate named Michael, and they live in this beautiful house right 1 block away from the beach. And Mary finds out that Billy travels a lot, so she is going to be home with Michael, Billy's roommate, alone, which is not a terrible thing, we find out, but she's just kind of there with Michael for about a month. Michael describes as being a big, lovable teddy bear kind of a guy. He's an entrepreneur. He owns multiple businesses. And he has one of the most successful marijuana dispensaries in Southern California at the time in 2012. And so...
Can I talk about that?
Yes.
How wild is it? And Keeley's in Idaho. I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
Idaho, no weed is allowed.
No.
Right? Cannot have it.
No, can't have it.
In Florida, it's medical. You can get a medical marijuana. And I happen to know a dude that got his from a gynecologist. Like, if you want a medical marijuana card here, you can get it in 2 seconds. I can't. I don't have a good reaction to it. I would partake, but I can't. But it's so crazy that was 13 years ago. Yeah. And at that point in time, it was a completely different world. You're still living in it.
Yeah.
I
am.
But it's like, it's everywhere here. I'm in suburbia, just north of Orlando. It's a very suburban, kind of purpley area here, but it's fairly conservative. It's Florida. And I can walk around the neighborhood and it smells like weed. And it's a decent neighborhood. And if you go into the Orlando city, it's everywhere. Yeah. If you're in a Walmart parking lot, it smells like weed. It's just everywhere. And back then, it was still federally not okay. I think it's technically now. I don't totally understand all the laws because it doesn't affect me in any way. Yeah. But in California, it was like, it's not too big of a deal, but it was like a back alley business thing. Yeah. And it's like, it's so different now that, cause my brother-in-law works at a dispensary. Like, they're everywhere. Like a pharmacy. It's such a weird difference in such a short amount of time. Yeah. So that's what they were doing in 2012. And Michael, who ends up being our victim, he, they explain is into the purity of the marijuana and really does well at the growing part of it and is really big on how to do it well and how to do it the right way, and how to sell it for quite a lot of money is what they explain it. And then, so all of this is going really well for Mary and Michael and Billy for about a month until it isn't. Mary explains one night that she comes home from work and she gets takeout, and Billy is not home at this time, but she gets takeout, and she says she calls one of those girls to get a spray tan. I'm thinking kind of like Iris from Love Island. I think you're right.
That come to your house and they give you a spray tan. And
I'm of the pale persuasion.
Me too.
Have you ever gotten a spray tan?
I love them. Yes.
Oh, I've never gotten one.
Does it stop?
But that's different than if you do what Nia does. Like, does it get on your sheets?
It does.
Mm-hmm. If you get a spray tan?
Yeah. I love them so much. And they're really smelly. You smell kind of like, I don't know. It's gross. It's like dead meat. It's yuck.
What?
It's stinky. They're very stinky.
So, like, you look hot, but you smell bad?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. It's so gross.
How long are you stinky? The whole time that it's on you? How long does this
No,
spray tan
it's
last?
like the first 48 hours, like first couple of days.
And
It's
then-
gross.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know.
Are you going to get one for your vacation?
I don't know. Steve and I thought about it, but it's too late.
Wait,
now.
would Steve get a spray tan?
Oh, Steve loves spray tans.
Does he get, like, abs airbrushed on?
No.
It looks like a basketball.
Yeah. Like Zach. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Back to the story. So Mary gets the spray tan and she goes to bed at like 10:30 at night. Michael comes home about 11:30. He goes to bed about 12 or 12:15. Mary says she gets woken up by, she feels something cold and metallic pressed against the back of her neck while she's sleeping. And she wakes up to the barrel of a pistol against the back of her neck. And then we hear from Michael, and he gets woken up by a noise in his house, and he sees someone in the house with a shotgun. So then after Mary has a gun put to the back of her head, she gets someone slap some tape across her mouth, and a blindfold is put over her eyes, and then someone zip ties her wrists and her ankles, and she's thinking, yep, this is not good. This is not going to go well for me. And then Michael says, another man, so one man is in the house with the shotgun, and another man comes around, and he starts like playing this tug of war to try and get this shotgun. And this other guy comes around and then just smacks him in the face with the shotgun and knocks him out. And they zip tie him, they blindfold him, and they gag him. And then they just drag him down the stairs outside and throw him inside a van. They take Mary outside and put her in a van. And she hears them backing their car out of their garage and backing their van into the garage so they can switch all these vehicles around.
It's like orchestrated
yeah.
so thoughtfully.
Yeah,
It's
in the middle of the
messed
night. Yeah. So while they're in the van, the men, I'll just back up. I guess the men are rifling through the house, demanding money from Michael, asking Michael and screaming at him where the $1 million is. And Michael is just screaming at it, I don't have $1 million. I don't know what you're talking about. And Michael, they don't understand. They're saying, where's the money? Where's the money? Michael has no idea what they're talking about. And that's when they put everybody in the van. And then Mary says that she hears that they're on the freeway. She can hear the freeway noise, but it's the middle of the night, so it's just black outside. And then she said they begin to torture Michael inside the van while they're driving. And apparently this goes on for hours. Inside the van, they start to taser Michael. And at one point, they take a blowtorch to his back and to his sides, all the while screaming, where's the money? Where's the $1 million? And you know, he's got a gag in his mouth, and she says it's just muffled screams. And she says it seemed like it went on forever, and they would stop and start again. And she said it was just horrible. They would hit him and kick him and just beat him over and over and over again inside this van.
And they were like prepped. They've got the taser. They've got a blowtorch. They have these zip ties.
Yeah.
They were very prepared to do some horrific things. Yeah. And they knew going into it that they were going to be doing that.
Yeah. The men kept demanding this $1 million from Michael. And Michael said, look, I don't have $1 million, but I have $100,000 in a safety deposit box. I'll back at a business. I will take you there. I'll give you the money. Mm-hmm. And they were like, no, fuck you. We want this $1 million. And they just kept saying that. No, fuck you. We want this $1 million. We know you've got it buried somewhere. We want this money. And Michael kept saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I don't have $1 million. I have this $100,000. I will give it to you. Just please stop. Mm-hmm. And Michael said, if I had $1 million, I would give it to you. And I just don't. They didn't believe him. Mary said at one point, one of the men was using a fake Spanish accent.
Yeah. Like trying to sound like he was in a game. Yeah. Obviously not a good for like accent. It wasn't believable.
So after apparently hours and hours of this torture inside the van, she said that they pulled off. They could tell that they were on like a gravel road. They were driving in the Mojave Desert, they found out. So they were driving on rocks and gravel because they could hear it hitting up underneath the undercarriage of the van. And they were driving for about 5 or 6 minutes on the rock and gravel dirt road. And then they said the van stopped. They were still demanding the money from Michael. And Michael was saying, I don't have any money buried out here. I don't know what you're talking about. And then they opened up the van and dragged Michael out of the van. And when they dragged him out of the van, they dragged Mary out of the van also. And she said they kind of dragged him out into this little gully out into the desert. And they put them down in there. And when they pulled Michael out of the van, his pants came down around his waist. They came down. And she said one of the men stood on Michael's chest and put a zip tie around the base of Michael's penis and began to cut it off. Michael said that all he heard was one of the men. He could feel his penis being cut off, and he heard one of the men saying, do it, do it. And he said the other men said it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And Michael said, I was crying and I was just in shock. I didn't know what to do. He said I could feel them cutting it. And then Michael said, I heard someone singing the words back and forth while they were cutting. And someone was laughing while they were doing it. And after that, Mary said she then heard the sound of liquid being poured, and she thought it was like gasoline or fuel that they were going to light the two of them on fire. But then she smelled bleach. And so they poured bleach all over Michael, all on his open wound. So he's bleeding. They had just cut off his penis. And I can't even imagine how bad that would hurt to have that poured on top of you. And they had these pictures of this poor man out there in the desert lying on his side, with the zip ties around his wrists and his ankles. And he had bloody footprints on like his inner thighs and around his midsection, around his crotch area. And it was so horrible. They had those zip ties so tight on that man. It was so terrible.
It just horrific. And then they also stepped in the bleach, and like somehow the bleach burned into his skin. So for the rest of his life, he has the bleach burn footprints on his body.
Yeah.
On top of everything else.
On top of everything else, right? So after they poured the bleach all over him, one of the men walked over to Mary while she's sitting there. So she's got a blindfold on. She's got tape over her mouth. She's got zip ties on her ankles and her wrists. And she said she felt the knife being pressed up against her hands. And he said to her, I'm going to throw this a few feet away. And if you can find it, you can cut yourself free. And today's your lucky day. And then she said they left. And so she said she sat up and she pushed up her blindfold with her knees. And she kind of scooched herself over to the knife. She could see it because the sunrise was coming. And she saw the knife kind of glinting with the sun. So she scooched over on her butt and got the knife. And she said she cut her ankles free so she could walk. And she could see about 3/4 of a mile away the road. She could see cars on the road. And so she walked to the road to try and get help for Michael so he didn't bleed to death. He was still alive, which I just don't know how.
Incredible.
You don't bleed to death having that done to you. So Mary walks out to the road, and then there's, I don't even know how, a police officer.
The sheriff.
Driving, yes. There's a sheriff driving, which, can I ask you, did you like this guy?
No.
I thought this guy was a total asshole.
No, I hated him. I know that he's doing his job, and I think probably he's doing it well, but he is so desensitized.
Oh, my God.
By his job is my only guess.
Yeah.
Because she flags him down.
Yeah.
And they have the recordings of her.
Yeah.
She is so composed, even with everything that's just happened.
Yeah.
She is composed. She is direct. She is clear.
Yeah.
Her goal is, I need to get someone so we can help Michael. Yep. And the sheriff was like, I didn't believe her at first. This sounded crazy. But we drove down, and as soon as we got there, he says something really crass. Like, my first concern was preserving the evidence.
Yeah.
And that is very, very clear based on, we have the pictures that we have. I don't know. I didn't like him. So you didn't like him either.
No, I didn't like him either. I mean, I think he said something like, I drove past her. So he didn't even stop is how I took it. I drove past her. And when I looked at her, I saw her hands zip tied. So I stopped and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Basically at 0:30, there's this woman walking with a blindfold in her jammies with no shoes on in the middle of the desert, and you just drive past her. I don't know who you or what you think she is, but you only stop because you're like, oh, maybe those are zip ties. And then you still don't believe her when she says, my friend is out there. I need to go help him. Please go help him. And he's just constantly questioning her. How long have you been here? Where did you come from? Where did you get? It doesn't matter. Let's go. Why does this matter? Let's go.
We need to go help him. We need to go help him. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I would be hysterical.
Yes.
I'm hysterical if someone asks me to drive them to the airport and I don't want to.
Yeah.
She is so calm.
Yeah.
And maybe she was in shock, but it was, if I ever have an emergency, I want Mary Barnes on my team.
He absolutely did not believe her. Like you said, in the car, he's like, I absolutely did not believe she knew where she was going. When they get out where Michael is at, he still doesn't believe her up until the point they get out of the car and they hear Michael moaning off into the distance. And he was like, oh yeah, somebody's here. And I'm just like, are you joking? Because we're watching the dash cam video of all of this going on. And she's just like, can I go over there? Can I go over there? And he's like, no, stay here, which is fine.
We need to preserve the crime scene. I see the benefit of preserving a crime scene.
Yeah.
But also, Michael needed help.
Yeah.
And there was no urgency for that sheriff.
Yeah.
And that really bothered me.
Yeah. So they take a picture of her. You know, she's, like I said, she's got her zip ties still. There's blood on them. She still has her blindfold up again on the top of her head. Mm-hmm. And they take that picture that we see of Michael out in the desert, which is just devastating to look at. He's on his side. I mean, it's not gruesome. They don't show any gruesome photos.
It's all kind of shaded out, blurred out. But you can tell he's like in the fetal position, tied up with his pants down. Yes. Bleeding and burned.
Yeah. It's very sad. They call the officer over. They tell him that, you know, there's a zip tie around, you know, what's left of his penis. They have cut his penis off. The penis is not there.
They can't find it.
They can't find it. And Michael's begging for some water. And they say, you know, we're going to get you some water. And the officer says, look, I'm going to leave to the other officer, I'm going to leave the zip tie on because I don't want him to bleed out. And so Michael and Mary get rescued. And then we come back to meeting, right, the district attorneys and the detectives that are going to be doing the investigation to find out who in the hell did these horrible things to Michael and Mary. So
this
we've got
team,
yeah.
This team looks like they should be on a cop show, right?
I
know. I mean, kind of everyone involved, except for the sheriff.
Yeah.
Kind of everybody involved is very good looking.
Oh, yeah.
Like, top to bottom, everyone is objectively attractive person.
Yeah.
We don't ever see Michael S. other than a picture of him from the back.
Yeah.
They don't tell us his name. They're protecting because he's such a, like, what's been done to him is so horrible.
Oh my God, I know.
But I loved the DA and then the assistant DA and then also the detective. Like, I was so on their team. Yeah. They just seem like the best. Like, you want them working on your case.
Yeah. Even Steve and I were watching and Steve's like, this district attorney Ryan could take over for Keith Morrison on Dateline. He would be so good. His voice was so good. He was just the right appropriate amount of, you know, animated and comedy and very, you know, very good when he needed to be. He could explain things where he needed to explain things. He was just really good.
They showed him surfing. He's super hot.
Yeah. Yeah, they were all really great. So, so then we see, Detective Ryan Peters, he goes back to Mary and Michael's house because he's like, we got to figure out what happened in this house. And we see, the on-body video of them going through the house, and the house really, I mean, they ransack the house. Nothing horrific goes on, right? They still have the jewelry and the cash there. There's a little bit of blood where Michael was clocked in the head by the shotgun.
They were saying that in general, Newport there isn't a lot of crime. Yeah. They do, I mean, they're not without a homicide. They're definitely not without a break-in or thefts, but this doesn't match what they're used to. I thought that was really interesting because they didn't take anything in the house.
Yeah.
So
Detective Ryan Peters kept saying, you know, I need to know who these people are because he thought this mutilation was so brutal. He almost didn't believe that it didn't have something personal against Michael, right? Mm-hmm. And so he wanted to find out, right, who lived in this house and why it was so personal against Michael. And so
he said that he had done he had investigated or persecuted 13 serial killers.
Yeah.
And that this was one of the most horrific crimes he's seen.
Yeah. I mean, I when I saw that, I thought, this is so bonkers. What am I watching here? how do you go from, I want $1 million, pulling this person out of a van, and that is your next move to cutting this poor man's penis off?
How do you even think of...
Anyway, so then after they're going through his house, we go back to the district attorney, to Ryan Murphy, and Ryan is thinking, okay, they're out there in the desert. He's telling his people, I want you to go out there and look for this penis, look at the crime scene, and they cannot find this poor man's penis anywhere. And like you said, he had done 13 different serial killer cases, and it occurred to him, whoever cut off Michael's penis took it with them, so he couldn't reattach it. And that to him was like almost just the most cruel thing that he could have think to do. It was just really sadistic. So he said, they took it with him because it wasn't out there. And so then they went back to the beginning. They went back to Michael. Michael was in the hospital. They did their interview and they said, dude, tell me what is going on in your life. Because like I said, who's mad at you? What is going on? And Michael's like, I am a nice person. I pay my bills. I have no enemies. I'm nice to people. I haven't slept with anybody's wife. I don't know what to tell you. And so he's like, okay, well, so then they look at the roommate, at Mary's boyfriend, Bill, and they're like, okay, well, they think he's the number one guy at first because he's out of town, although
how convenient.
Right. And he had an airtight alibi, so he's out. And then they look into Michael's businesses, his marijuana dispensaries. They're like, well, maybe it has something to do with his businesses. What was going on at that time with the marijuana industry and medical marijuana? What's going on with that? So then they start talking to the neighbors. And like I said, all the houses are like row houses. They literally have no backyards. I mean, they have alleys. These houses have alleys.
It's so fun to walk around.
Yeah.
Everything's beautiful.
Yes.
And they're teeny tiny.
Yes.
Very social area.
Yes. And they said they're canvassing the neighborhood, if you call it a neighborhood. And they get their big break with Mrs. Kravitz. And I loved that they said that because I used to watch Bewitched, and that was one of my favorite shows.
And this woman
was amazing.
You wouldn't think that she really exists.
Was amazing.
Who does this?
Does that? So they knock on this woman's house and they're like, hey, did you see anything? Did you notice anything? And she's like, I sure did. I sure did. Did you want to know what? She said the day before, she was sitting at her desk that happened to look over the alley, and this white truck pulled up. She said it had a dent in the side of the truck, and she said there were 3 men that came out of the truck that looked like they were construction workers. So I'm not sure if they had clothes on like construction workers, or I'm
sure they were dressed.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
But she said naked. They looked like construction workers. They put a ladder up against Michael's house, a full-on ladder. 2 of the men went up the ladder, went inside Michael's house, and never came out, which I thought was super interesting. And then she said she gave them the description of the white truck with the dent, and they said, okay. And she said, well, I took down the license plate. Do you want that? And they're like, oh my God. Yes.
Gold mine in this lady.
Yes, of course. I mean, I love that. I love their like nosy Nellies just writing down license plates.
How many notebooks are in her house? Does she just have notebooks of everyone that visits her neighbors?
I know. And I love that her office overlooks all of that while she's in working, just
right.
You know,
she doesn't even have a job. She's just keeping track of the alley.
I know, that's amazing.
I have a neighbor in the front of our neighborhood who I think does something like that. For some, I live in Florida. It is so fucking hot, and he hangs out in his garage, and he's on the corner, and he just watches all the people drive in and out. You're like, what are you doing with your day? Who are you protecting? No one, everyone has a Ring camera.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
That's
and
amazing.
But he just sits there, and then he's like, he'll wave at you like, got it, guys. And you're like, you're not helping.
I know.
And he's genuinely not, because once a cat got stolen from right in front of his house, and he didn't even notice. So
this is what I was thinking, and I don't know. When she said 2 of them went in and never came out, I'm wondering if they stayed in there all night. Did you think that?
That was my impression.
Oh, okay.
Because it was the day before.
Yeah.
That it happened. But then they also later on said that they had like looked through things because they were seeing if they could find ahead of time to see if they could just steal from him. So I think maybe she just missed them exiting.
Yeah, that could be too. So anyway, they go back.
And she did say, my favorite tidbit about what she noticed, apart from, oh, I have their license plate. Did you want that? How did you know? Was that she was like, oh, and one of them was really good looking.
Oh, I know. And
that's
we all know who
the
that
nosy Nelly I would
Yes. Yes.
That's me.
Oh my God. I love it so much. So anyway, they go back to the police station. They run the license plate, and it comes back to a guy named Kyle Hanley. And Kyle happens to run a marijuana business dispensary also. Well, ding, ding, ding. They were thinking, okay, well, let's look into the medical marijuana side of Michael also. And it comes back to a medical marijuana business. So that they go into that. And so they start to surveil this guy named Kyle. And so they put 2 officers to watch Kyle. And, you know, Kyle is looking around. He's looking nervous. He's sweating a lot. You know, I think, you know, he's one of those people that doesn't do well when he knows he's done something wrong, maybe after the fact. I don't know.
I mean, they watched him for like several days to a week or something, right? And they were like, he went to 7-Eleven, and then he'd come right back home and he smoked a lot of pot. And that's all he did. Right. So he did not handle, I mean, good. Sure. He wasn't handling the guilt well.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And he had, the other thing they noticed about was that he had a massive electric bill. Yeah.
And how did they figure that out? They never explained.
Well, it's a state utility, part, I guess. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So they go inside of his house, or this house that he is going inside, and this house is completely empty except for one bedroom that has like a mattress and like some gross sheet thrown on top of it and a dresser, and he's clearly not like living in this home. He's not
setting up a home. Yeah.
Right. It's not a furnished home. There's no pictures, and you know, it's not furnished, and they're looking around, and he's using it as a grow house, right? So
it was in the attic.
Yeah.
He had used the whole attic space as a grow house.
Yeah. So this house is a grow house. The police find out. So then they go back to the hospital to talk to Michael. They ask Michael, hey, do you know this guy named Kyle Hanley? And Michael's like, yeah, he was kind of like my BFF. Like, I met him like 9 or 10 months ago at this vendor. He was a different vendor, and it was in Long Beach that we met, and we were both growers, and we became friends. And then after a couple weeks of that, some other growers and myself were going to go to Las Vegas. And so I invited Kyle to go, and we had a great time, and we went to clubs and strip clubs, and we got him a nice hotel room and went to nice restaurants, and I paid for a lot of stuff.
Showed him a
really good time in Vegas, and I thought we were really good friends, and the police were like, okay. So they continue to surveil and follow Kyle around. Mm-hmm. And Kyle is just not leading them to anything. And so Detective Ryan Peters says, dude, I need you to be able to pull this guy over on some violation, right? The next time he's in his car, you need to stop him for something, running a red light, right? Speeding, something. He needs something because I need to talk to him. And so finally, some violation in his vehicle, right? They pull him over. They get him down to the station, and, detective gets to be able to interview Kyle finally. And that's when, right, he gets super nervous and says, yeah, I'm not going to talk to you, obviously. And he clams up and gets a lawyer. So then they write a search warrant for his house and his person and his cars. And inside the actual house that he lives in, and they find, when they get to the house, they find the white truck with the dent that Mrs. Kravitz, the neighbor, had described, the actual license plate that they found Kyle. So there's the truck.
That's gotta be, it's gotta feel so good.
Yeah.
Like, we got something.
Yeah. They open the truck, and it smells like bleach inside the truck. And they're thinking, okay, this is the crime scene where they tortured Michael. And they're thinking, okay, we've got something here. And they go inside the house, and there's still nothing inside the house. Then they go outside in the backyard, and there's these like big black trash bags on the ground pushed up against the back of the house. And they go through the trash bags, and then there's these white towels with bleach on them. And so they test the white towels for blood, and it comes back positive. So there's blood and bleach on these towels.
Why would he keep those? Right? Like, what are you? I mean, I guess he's high.
Criminals are dum-dum lollipops, like you like to call them.
God, like, what are you doing?
Yes.
I don't want to be a criminal, but I could do it better than Kyle.
I know. Right? Oh my God. So, and then they pull out a cut used zip tie from inside these trash bags that match the ones that were on Michael and Mary.
I had a question about that.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of different kinds of zip ties?
Yeah.
Like, if you go, oh, this zip tie matches. Don't all zip ties match? They're zip ties. Don't they all look
the same?
I don't know.
I don't know. I when I heard that, I pictured some blood on them, because Mary's had blood on hers and Michael had blood on hers, but I don't know. I didn't picture a clean one. That's what I pictured in my head. Maybe it had dirt on it. Maybe it had blood on it. That's what I pictured. They found the cut used zip ties inside these trash bags at Kyle's house. And so Detective Peters calls the district attorney, Matt, and tells him all of this. And Matt's like, yep, you can charge him now.
Charge him.
Go for it. You can arrest him. So they arrest Kyle, and they take the truck and they take it to the warehouse so they can do some more investigation on the truck. And inside the truck, they find one of those blue surgical nitrile gloves underneath one of the seats, and they test that for DNA.
Crazy. It was just like, oh, like everything's falling into place.
I know.
I'm just remembering like the energy of watching this episode. It was so good. And you're like, oh, they got it. Oh, they got it. Ding, ding, ding. Hit.
And so,
yeah. Like, amazing.
So the zip tie, that DNA comes back with an unknown male DNA.
Mm-hmm.
And then the glove comes back with a DNA match to a gentleman named Hossein Nairi. So that is a known felon to the police station and to the DA, Ryan Murphy. So they know one of the males and they don't know the other.
Kyle.
Yeah.
They've got Hussein, and then they have another one unknown.
Right.
The only thing about this is that I was bummed to find out that they find this stuff and then they send it out to get tested.
Yeah.
And this is Newport Beach, which I'm assuming has got to be a well-funded.
Yeah.
But like when they send that out, they were like, it takes months for that to get back.
Yeah.
So they're just waiting.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer.
Yep. So when they look up Hossein Nairi, they find out that this guy, they call the FBI, they call Homeland Security, and the FBI calls back and says, sorry, he has fled to Iran. He's gone. And they're like, oh my God, because we cannot extradite from Iran. Iran is not extraditable. And they're like, what are we going to do? And that's where this first episode ends, is they have a known name, but he's out of the country. So episode 2 picks up. It's called The Cat and Mouse Trap. But episode 2 was really good. It's a little bit longer,
just watch
but
that.
It's so good. Yeah. So they pick up right where they find out Hossein Nairi's name. They find out he's in Iran. And they are thinking, what are we going to do? We're just kind of dead in the wind here. We've got Kyle Hanley. He's been arrested. We know Hossein Nairi's name, but he's in Iran. And we have this third unknown gentleman. We don't know who this person is. What are we going to do? So they tell us, okay, we're going to start to look at Hossein Nairi. And they tell us a little bit about his background. You know, he's from Fresno, California. You know, he went to Clovis West High School. He was a wrestler. And I didn't know that in Iran, wrestling was like the Super Bowl to them.
Oh,
did you
yeah,
know that? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that, but I did think it was very interesting.
Yeah.
And like I know of a few
yeah,
wrestlers, but they're like wrestlers, like professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah, no. I had no clue that was that big in that country at all.
No, but very cool. But and like that becomes his identity.
Yeah.
Because comes here with his mom and his brother and his dad.
Yeah. And
then his dad moves back to Iran, and I'm curious about his family. We didn't get too much about his family other than the dad went back to Iran, so it was just him and his brother and his mom. Yeah. He was like the black sheep of the family because he had become more Americanized as time went on.
Yeah.
But
so
super hot.
He's I don't even know how to describe this guy. He's very athletic, big guy. He's probably, he's a big build,
he's built. Yeah. They said that he was in their top weight class for wrestling.
Yeah.
And he did pretty decently well.
Yeah.
Did well in high school. Smart kid.
Yeah.
Introspective and quiet.
Yeah. But you could tell that he probably had friends, people were probably drawn to him, would probably do what he said. So he entered the military right after high school. He went into the Marine Corps. He went to Camp Pendleton. They found out he had a little bit of problem with authority. Not shocked
on top of the fact
that.
It was a rough time to be an Iranian kid in the U.S. because 9/11 had just happened.
Yeah. And with his, with his name, right, he was not getting treated really well. with 9/11. So he was getting in a lot of fights. We find out he was a server at a little diner in Fresno.
Mimi's.
Had this little, at Mimi's Cafe. He had a girlfriend, and, got fired from the cafe and, started growing marijuana. That's how basically he got into the marijuana business.
Mm-hmm.
We end up finding out that he had a previous homicide in his criminal history. So it ended up being 7 years before this crime happened. He and his best friend, Asan, were at a Indian gambling casino and both got intoxicated. And Hossein was driving and they got into a car accident and rolled the car, and Asan died. And Hossein was charged with, felony manslaughter. And Hossein was severely burned and was in the hospital. And they said if he was going to live, he was probably going to be in jail the rest of his life for, his friend's death. But he fled the country. He fled to Iran again, or the first time, I guess.
The first time, yeah.
Yeah. And, but he ended up sneaking back into the United States. They found out, and they ended up just giving him a suspended sentence with time served and 5 years probation after he pled guilty. So basically really a slap on the wrist.
They're like, at least he's not staying in Iran, so at least we can do some sort of case.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah. So he had that background. They all said, and I don't believe this, but they all said his mental health went down after this accident. I believe he has always been some sort of sociopath this whole time. I don't believe
I don't
it
think
started
that
at
happens
this.
Overnight.
No, I don't think so. So, he had this background with this car accident, and people said like his former girlfriend was like, he was happy, he was laughing, which he probably was, but she did say he had a little bit of a control issue. She said it wasn't with her, but with the people that he was controlling over, which I could see. But, the district attorney said he believed he was the mastermind of Mary and Michael's kidnapping and torture scheme. So that's where they were leading, was believing that Hossein Nairi was the guy.
And he just sucks because he comes back.
Yeah.
He gets this suspended sentence or whatever it's called, like basically nothing. Yeah. And, he did a high-speed chase after driving drunk and killed his friend, and then he fled the country, and it's like, well, I don't know. That doesn't feel like justice to me, but I understand that the system is difficult. But then it's not like he cleans up his act after that.
No.
They tell this other story about him being in a high-speed chase where he, escaped the high-speed chase by diving into the ocean and getting away that way.
Yeah, so 2 weeks before the actual torture of Michael, he's on a high-speed chase in his own Chevy Tahoe.
That was 2 weeks before?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
I missed that.
Yeah, he's in his own Chevy Tahoe in Newport. Motorcycle cop is chasing him on the harbor on that, and he pulls over and dives off, right? And into the ocean right there, and leaves his Tahoe, and they impound it. And it's the middle of the night, and the motorcycle officer doesn't see it can't see his face, can't identify him, doesn't know who it is, but they impound the Tahoe. But as they know, and what I'm getting at is when they have his name, they run his name against their records to see if he's gotten any recent tickets or anything that comes up. And that's why this high-speed chase and comes up 2 weeks before, because when they impound his Chevy Tahoe, his insurance papers are inside the Chevy Tahoe with his name on it. And so, yeah.
But they didn't connect it. Here's the thing about that. Can you imagine having all of this is like he's an insane person and horrific. Yeah. Can you go like, I'm going to run from the police to the point that I escape into the ocean and then be like, the heat's on you, right? Yeah. You assume that they like are going to, they've got your truck. They're going to figure out who you are. Yeah. And he's still like, I think we should still do the kidnapping thing. I think we can get away with it. Right?
What?
He's so, the hubris of this man. He's so, I would kill for that kind of confidence.
Well, that's why I'm thinking, that's why when they said his mental health turned when he had that accident, I'm like, no, he was born this way.
Yeah, no, he's feeling just fine.
No. So, yeah, so they go through his Chevy Tahoe. They look at his, they have his insurance card, you know, like his Geico card or his Allstate or Farmer's card, right? And they're looking through his Tahoe, and Detective Ryan Peters pulls out this box, this little box, and it's a mini micro camera. Then he pulls out another box underneath the seat, and it's this Pelican box, and it's a tracker. So he's got a camera and a tracker inside his own vehicle. And so then he goes and writes a search warrant so he can look through it. And he looks through it.
So they couldn't look through it without a warrant?
Correct.
Even though they have it in the impound?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
They have to have cause to be able to do that. Yeah.
All right.
So they get a search warrant to open it, to look through it. He opens it and looks through it. And the first thing that pops up on the camera is a video of Michael's house. So they have been surveillancing, is what Courtney says. I love that part in the show. Okay. Anyway, they're surveilling Michael's house. They have a video of Michael's house. And they're just like, holy fucking shit. So they have a tracker of Michael, a GPS basically, and videos of Michael's house, all in Hussein's own personal vehicle. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? And on his insurance card is Hussein's wife's name, Courtney Shagarian. They find out it's his wife. So they're thinking, okay, we're going to try and figure out what to do. So they call Courtney and they say, all right, we're going to play this game. We're going to create a ruse for her to come in. We're going to have her sign for all the, everything inside the Tahoe and see if she does it, and basically
the Tahoe
implicate her.
Is technically also hers.
Yeah.
And so she had reported it as stolen.
She did.
And they're like, hey, we have it. And come on in.
She never picked it up. So she reported it as stolen, but then never came and picked it up at the same time.
I wonder, did they not tell her until after?
I think she knew.
I don't know.
That's what I told Steve. I said, I think she knew. Anyway.
Well, can I tell you my favorite thing about Courtney?
Yes.
Is that Courtney and Hussein are married.
Yes.
But it's secret.
Yes, I know.
It's a secret marriage.
So he's 7 years older than she is, which has nothing to do with anything, but...
That's the cutoff for me of an appropriate age gap.
I know.
Anything beyond that, you don't have anything. There's not enough in common.
I know. So Detective Peters calls her and says, hey, we have your Tahoe. We have all the contents inside. Come pick it up. We'll have you sign for everything. We'll give you everything here. She's like, cool, make an appointment, come down. So we listened to the audio of her going into the police station. They have this Word Excel spreadsheet of everything that she signs off on. I mean, she signs off.
Check off
Yeah.
what was in there. Yep, I knew
Camera,
this was in there. Yep,
the
I
tracker,
want this. Yes,
everything.
I want this.
I want this.
Mm-hmm.
And she signs her name to it. And they basically explain, once she signs that, she's implicating herself to the crime of Michael and Mary being kidnapped and tortured. And that's a felony that can send her to prison for a long time. So after she signs it, before she leaves, he says, oh, wait a minute. Just hold on. I have something else for you. Here's a search warrant. And she's like, excuse, please? What do you mean? He says, well, I have a search warrant for your person, your car, and your house. And she's not happy all of the sudden.
No. She was sweet and nice.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm going to lawyer up now.
Nope.
She did not appreciate that at all. She was very irritated. And they're like, excuse me, you made the appointment. She's like, you tricked me to get in here. And they're like, you made the appointment though. Remember that?
Yeah.
And she's like, yes. It's not
Whoops. So yeah. I mean, if you didn't quite understand how that works, that's how that works, ladies and gentlemen. At the end, I just want to skip ahead really quickly. At the end, they ask, what's the moral of the story?
That's my favorite part of this.
Of the story is females, don't register the car in your name. Don't pick up your husband's mini camera and trackers and surveillance equipment. That's the moral of the story.
Oh, yeah. She fucked up.
Yeah.
I feel like mine is, if it has to be a secret marriage, it's probably not one that you really want to get involved in.
Yeah.
I thought that part was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because, Hussein, he's Iranian.
Yeah.
And she is Armenian.
Yeah.
Which, not the same, but there's a lot of cultural crossover. They have a lot of things in common, especially being, first generation in the country. She said that her family met him because they met working together at the restaurant Mimi's. Yeah. And that her parents immediately were like, absolutely not. Oh, no.
Done.
And she's like, they clocked it immediately, but she was young and dumb and in love and couldn't see it, didn't know. Yep.
Unbelievable.
I'm not saying that every parent knows best and is the one that you should follow and you have to do everything your parents say. But if your parents are saying absolutely not and then you have to secretly get married, it's not a recipe for success. I don't know when that's worked out well.
Yeah. So she basically tells them to go pound sand after they give her a search warrant. Mm-hmm. And Detective Peters says, okay, my last shot is I'm going to call her dad because Courtney is very wealthy, very, very wealthy. And so he calls her dad and says, look, father to father, your daughter is in a lot of trouble. And we really want to help her. And if she tells us what she knows, we can help her.
But this is the window to get the help. After this, she's fucked.
Yeah. So Courtney's dad calls him back. And within 48 hours later, Courtney is at the police station with her own attorney. So her dad gets an attorney for her. Mm-hmm. And she shows up at the police station 48 hours later.
She's a sweetie. She's a dumb lollipop. But she's also not. She's not dumb.
I cannot believe how much she remembered.
Oh no, she was so detailed. Even the detective was like, "Oh, holy shit!" She's so specific in everything that she remembers. Yeah. So Ryan is the detective, right? And then there's the DA, Matt Murphy, and then Heather Brown is the assistant DA. Yeah. And I think that her part is the most important because at least her explanation of it is like, she said that in the beginning she was like not a fan. Yeah. And she thought that she, was involved in all of this. And technically she is, right? Oh yeah. And she's like, but her opinion really changes of Courtney because Courtney is kind of another version of a victim of Hussein. Oh yeah. The stuff that he gets her wrapped into. I'll let you get into it, but just... And she's so smart and she's so meticulous with her memory, which is fantastic because she becomes a lawyer. Oh, yeah. Yep. So she's not dumb. No, yeah. But she's just, what is the word? She's naive? Yeah, when it comes to this guy. And also I think she was like, I think so. Another one of his victims. Yeah, this entire, you have to keep in mind this entire time, she's going to law school. Mm-hmm. You have to think about that. This man that she is married to secretly, she is secrets. She is going to law school and he's committing crimes over and over again. And she's going to law school. Like it just blows my freaking mind. It is bonkers. And she's like there watching it. Yep. Yep. Okay, so she goes to the police station with her attorney, and they explain what she's about to do is called a proffer. It's not a statement. It's not just an affidavit. It's not just, here's what I know by. It's called a proffer. It's basically giving them information in exchange for... at a date in the future for consideration that they will not prosecute her, but they reserve the right to still prosecute her for something that they know now or something they can prove in the future, if that makes sense. So she still says, you can't hold against me what I'm going to tell you right now. Mm-hmm. But you can send me to jail for stuff that you knew yesterday or stuff that you find out on your own. Okay, I see what you're saying. So, yeah, I was confused by this. Yeah. That's what that means. Her lawyer explains that, like, you tell them everything. Yes. Even if you think they don't care, you tell them every single little detail because anything you don't tell them, they are going to find, and that's what they're going to put you in jail for the rest of your life. Yes. So that's what that means. Mm-hmm. I just want to explain that it's just not a simple, here you go, and she gets to leave. That's not what this is, right? Have you ever sat in on one of those with your job? I have not sat in on one of those, but I know that proffers, people think that you still, even if you give a proffer, you still don't go to prison. So she can... I mean, obviously she looks like she's out. They didn't send her to prison for anything, but it does happen that you, like I said, they can send her to prison for what happened before or what they find out afterwards on their own, right? Not what she tells them now. So that still happens. But yeah, that's what happened. That's what she's telling them. So what she says is they met at Mimi's Cafe. She was 16 at the time. My God. And which means that he was 23 when they met. Yeah. But if you're that young, that's too much. I know. That's too much. I know. But they didn't get married when he was 23 and she was 16. Anyway, I just want to put that out there. But that's when they met. So they said, okay, who was involved in the kidnapping? And she said, Hossein Nairi, Kyle Hanley, and a third person. All I know is his name. They called him Mr. Brown. And that was I guess a callback to Quentin Tarantino's movie Reservoir Dogs with the whole color-coded names of Mr. Pink, Mr. White, and Mr. Brown. And which is a favorite movie of my husband's.
never watched it. I'm not
Matt
a fan.
loves it too.
I'm not a
Oh,
fan.
you didn't like... I thought it was good.
Anyway, so Mr. Brown and Kyle Hanley and Jose Nairi were the three involved in the kidnapping. And she said they end up finding out through what else Courtney tells them is the third person is the person named Ryan Kevorkian, who went to high school with Kyle and Hossein in Fresno. And they find that out because Ryan Kevorkian is married to a woman named Naomi Rodas.
Mm-hmm.
And again, females, stop doing these things. Naomi, what are you doing? Naomi is involved because she purchased a 9mm handgun and a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun for these gentlemen and rented the van for these gentlemen.
Such an idiot.
What are we doing,
Why are you...
women?
What? What are you doing? It's just...
Stop.
$1 million isn't
Right.
worth this.
I know.
It's
Oof.
not worth this.
Yeah. So that's how we, third person weasel our way to Ryan Kevorkian through his ex-wife, Naomi. So that's where they get that third name. So she said, Courtney said she didn't personally know that they were going to kidnap Michael. Michael, let's see, Hossein and Kyle knew the man named Michael, and that Kyle and Hossein knew that Michael had taken Kyle to Vegas. And the funny thing is that Hossein and Michael had never met in person or eye to eye before, but Kyle had told Hossein about this awesome Vegas trip and all this money that he had spent on the women and the drinks and the rooms and the club. That somehow they were going to steal this money that Michael had. That's kind of where this...
Well, there was a vendetta there.
Yeah.
Because Kyle had tried to kind of broker
right.
a deal between Hossein, who's been growing, and Courtney describes it as like an obsession. He picks something and he gets obsessed with it, and he's really interested in it, and everything is around that. And that was what becoming a weed grower for him was.
Yeah.
Kyle had said like, oh, hey, Michael S., I've got some stuff. Or would you be interested in buying from this guy?
Yeah.
And Michael, you told us in the beginning, he's really interested in the purity, and he's got very high standards from it. So he was like, this just isn't up to par for what I'm selling. And I think that is what it is. I think Hossein felt slighted because it was something that he took very seriously. And, he saw that as like, oh, here's a way that this is going to take off for me.
Yeah.
And then he got smashed down, not even to his face.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where this all started.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah. He just went off the deep end. And Courtney said they started to surveil Michael. They put a GPS on Michael's car. They put surveillance cameras on Michael's house to watch Michael come and go. For months, they were watching Michael, and Michael had no idea he was being watched for months. Ryan and Matt, they just kept saying, where was this desert thing coming in? They had no idea about why they thought Michael had money out in the desert.
Yeah,
and
that's why they took him out there.
Yeah,
and they're like, you've got $1 million in the desert, and they're like, where did that come from?
Where did this idea come from? And Courtney said, well, one day Michael's car had gone out to the desert and then had just circled one certain area out in the desert over and over for a little while. And Hossein had said to me, why would someone do this? This doesn't make sense. Why would he be circling out in one area? And Courtney said, I don't know. I don't know why would someone would do that. And Hossein said to her, well, do you think he would bury money out there? Is that why you think that makes sense? And she said, yeah, probably. He probably would be. Sure. And so that's
just popped into his head. He just decided, oh, that's what's going on.
It makes no sense.
And he's decided that he's so smart.
Yes.
That it occurs to him that might be what's going on. So that's definitely what's going on.
Yeah.
And he does all of this based on that. It's so crazy.
Yes. That is not what's going on. Michael had a friend that wanted to do some real estate something or another out in the desert.
It was like a gold mining scheme or something. And Michael was like, you can show me. I don't think he got involved in it. He's like, sure.
Yeah. Had no idea.
Had nothing to do with anything.
It was so funny. It went nowhere. And that's why Michael's car drove out to the desert that day. It drove in circles in that certain spot. So Courtney said, I found all this surveillance equipment in my house. I confronted Hossein about it. He told me it's none of your business. I finally went back a few months later and said, tell me what's going on. And he finally then told me the whole story about everything that's going on. Females, again, don't tell me what's going on. I literally looked at Steve while we're watching this and said, I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Don't tell me what's going on. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Me.
This is the moral of the story. I don't want to know. I'm not going to ask you. That's it. Just shut up.
Bad. Just stay out of it.
I'm staying out of it. I don't care.
Ugh.
Anyway, she said that Hossein destroyed the laptop. He destroyed the surveillance equipment. Kyle and Brown cleaned out the van, and they cleaned the weapons that were used.
But we saw how good they were at cleaning.
I know, right? Courtney also said that Hossein put surveillance equipment at Michael's parents' house to watch.
This is insane. It is so intense. Well,
Hossein, he is a crazy person. He was born crazy. He's going to die crazy. He is a crazy person. It just gets worse. The show gets worse and worse. So he puts surveillance equipment at Michael's parents' house. And Michael's parents have a dog, everybody. Mm-hmm. And what do dogs do? They bark. And
the surveillance equipment
batteries. The batteries need to be changed.
The butt.
And so Hossein has to go back and change these batteries, but there's a dog there. And the dog barks. And Hossein is tired of dealing with a barking dog. And yes, we all know where this is going to go. So he goes back to Courtney one day and says, I want you to buy some meat. And she says, why am I buying meat, Hossein? He said, I want you to make hamburgers for this dog because I'm going to poison this dog. And so she goes out and buys this meat. And she says, I can't remember if I make the hamburgers or he does. But the hamburgers get made. He has the gloves on.
Because it's poisonous. And she says he gives the hamburgers to the dog. But then in the show, everybody stops and they all say the dog is fine. The dog is fine. The dog didn't get sick.
Or
if he did get sick, he lived.
He's fine.
The dog's fine.
And I'm literally going, oh my God, okay.
Thank God the dog's okay.
I can't watch this show if I'm going to watch a show about a dead dog.
You can watch a show about a penis getting cut off and all of the murders, but you're like, don't touch the dog.
I will watch a murder show over in the middle of the night. The dog dies. I'm over. I'm turning this fucking thing off. I'm not watching it. Yeah. So the dog is okay.
The dog's okay. What I liked best about this story is they're like, this is how we knew that we could believe Courtney in this proffer, because she is telling us this information that is going to make everyone hate her. She poisoned a dog. She looks like a piece of shit. Like no one tells a story where they poisoned a dog.
And is going to come out looking good on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she this then says, he was not awesome to me either. And the whole time I'm thinking, how is he treating her? There's no way he could not be treating her correctly this whole time. There's no way he's not yelling at her. There's no way he's not putting his hands on her. And then she finally says, look, he used every insecurity I had against me. He told me, your butt's too big, your boobs are too small, you're ugly, you're fat, and then he said,
no one else would like you.
Nobody else would like you. Your parents don't understand you. I'm the only one that loves you. And she said, he would drink a lot. He would push and shove me and punch me and choke me. And I'm thinking, yep, there it is. There it is. Of course he did all of that to you. 100% he did all of that
and
to
it
her.
Probably started when she was about 16. So this is the relationship that she's had. I think they said for like 7 years.
Yeah.
So and they got secretly married. So he's got that over her as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's trapped.
Yeah. So after the proffer, they start to look into the third player, Ryan Kevorkian, and they start to follow this guy, and like they followed Kyle, and they follow him around, and he goes into a 24-hour gym, and the two cops follow him in to the gym, follow him around as he's working out. The guy drops a towel that he's been using to dry his sweat off on. They take that. Right. And they run that DNA. And what do you think? It comes back positive for that cut used zip tie that was in that black trash bag in the backyard at Kyle Hanley's house. So now they have confirmation of the three players for Marion Michaels' kidnap and torture. Ryan, Kyle, and Hossein. So they have now all three players. But Hossein is still in Iran. So how are they going to get Hossein back to the United States to be able to take care of it? And so Courtney's attorney says, well, maybe they can use Courtney to talk to Hossein to get him back here. They can use their relationship, because at this time, Courtney is not really talking to Hossein anymore, because she has now told her parents, obviously, and is not talking to Hossein anymore. Which I was thinking to myself, how does she, if she's not talking to him, how does she all of a sudden start calling him, right?
How do you reintroduce that?
Yeah. They don't really
Especially
explain
when it's like,
it.
She just got kind of free from him.
Yeah.
But now she's got to get looped back in.
Yep.
And he's in Iran, and it's really hard. Iran's not going to give you somebody.
Oh, God,
if you ask for, like, hey, that's a criminal, can we have them? They're going to be like, no.
No.
And I thought it was really interesting. They were talking about the different countries that are very difficult. And Murphy was like, it's counterintuitive, but the UK, super hard to get people back from. Yeah. So that's not somewhere. And then also, like, Spain, super difficult. Yeah. So places that I didn't think would be so hard make it very difficult.
Yeah. So they
why would the UK want him?
Yeah, the former Russia countries are piece of cake to get people from. So they were trying to get him to one of those former Russia countries, and they decided on the Czech Republic was one of the easier countries to get him to. And so they had Courtney start calling Hussein, and they would
Mhm.
listen to every single phone call for months and months. And they just gave us little clips here and
But
there.
they're playing the audio from these calls.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got weird feelings listening to those.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, we didn't have full context. We didn't have full conversations, just little here and there. Like she would say, just calling to say, I love you, or I'm praying for us. And he would say, do pray for us, or I love you. He would say, I love you back.
She would like baby talk him.
Yes.
Like she'd be like, we're the best cuddlers in the whole world. Like we just fit so perfect because we're just so good at cuddling. And I just miss you. And then he would be, he'd be like, yeah, I love you too. I miss you too. And then other times he would just start berating her.
Yeah.
And she was like, she just rode those waves. She was like, he's like, you don't even call. You don't care. You don't lift a finger for me. And she's like, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm going to try harder. What do you want? Like, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought that it was interesting when in the interview, she's saying, I'm having these phone calls and I'm afraid they're all worried that I'm going to tip him off.
Yeah.
So she has to be careful to like make sure she doesn't piss off the detectives listening in on the calls. And then she also has to be really careful with him to make sure she doesn't do anything that would set him off or like it would occur to him that she's not being honest or that she might be giving him away or something. That's got to be nerve-wracking.
Oh my God.
And maybe that's why she went to baby voice so hard. I don't know.
Yeah. It was just so weird and interesting at the same time. Like you said, he would berate her and she would say, her response would be like, I know you're not feeling super hot today. If Steve berated me like that, that would not be my response. No.
No. I mean, I don't know if she had just become accustomed to it. Yeah. Because he had been so awful. I don't know.
It was just very hard to listen to. And so we just got little snippets here and there. So finally, after months and months, she graduates law school. They decide, Hussein's sister and her decide to celebrate in Spain.
This part was crazy to me because his sister's not in on it.
No. They decide to have this party in Spain. Let's just go party. Yeah. We're going to meet in Spain. We're going to go have Hussein meet us. Let's just fly him to Spain. And Courtney's family, like I said, have so much money. And it is not unheard of for her to fund everything. She is going to bring Hussein $20,000 in cash and a cell phone, a new cell phone, I think is what they said. The sister's going to show up, and this doesn't look weird or sound weird at all.
No. And it almost sounded like in their phone call conversations, it's almost like he had said, oh, the easiest place for me to get a visa into Spain is actually going to be through the Czech Republic.
Like it was his idea. Yeah.
Like it was, like he had decided that.
Yeah.
So good job, Courtney.
Yeah. So they come up with this idea and they have this plan, and the day comes and he's not on the flight, and everybody has this panic attack that maybe the sister has tipped him off, or maybe he's found out somehow. But then he finally calls Courtney and says, oh, I'm sorry, I overslept. I'm hurrying. I'm getting on the plane. He gets on the plane. He gets to the Czech Republic, and they arrest him once he lands. And that is the end of episode 2. It is just incredible. They have a picture of him in handcuffs in the Czech Republic. Yeah, they call Courtney and say, he's been arrested. And she's like, oh, thank God, I'm free. If he ever finds out I'm dead, he's going to kill me. That's it. I'm over.
a slight over weed had him planning for months and months and doing surveillance on extended family members of a guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
She's 100% dead.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is, so that's the end of the second episode.
Yeah.
It gets crazier.
But they have a little blurb about, so Naomi Rodas, who's Ryan Kevorkian's ex-wife, she pleads guilty to accessory after the fact and is sentenced to 3 years informal probation, which...
What does informal probation
that leads me to believe as unsupervised probation, which
doesn't have...
nothing. They say Ryan Kevorkian pleads guilty to kidnapping, burglary, assault, and is sentenced to 12 years in prison.
That's it.
Yeah.
I guess he turned over, immediately.
Oh my gosh. So episode 3 is called Weed and Bananas. It is bananas, people.
Weed and bananas.
So bananas. Okay.
So crazy.
Well.
So, they said that it was fast to extradite, relatively. I didn't realize that this would take so long, but he said that it takes 6 to 8 months. In my mind, if someone's like, hey, this guy is a criminal.
Yeah.
And it's a country that you're on good terms with, you'd be like, take them. No, thank you. Don't want them here.
No.
I don't want to be in charge of this person. You can have them.
Yeah.
But
no.
It's not how it works.
No, it can take up to 5 years. Years, my love, to extradite.
That's confusing to me.
Yep. Yes.
But, okay.
So yes, we pick up where, so Nairi, he's Czech Republic.
Arrested at the airport.
He's arrested at the airport. And Detective Ryan, he goes to put his own handcuffs on him to take him to SoCal, to take him to Orange County. Arrives in New York, take him to SoCal to put him in the Orange County jail and wait to have trial. So, and he's in the Orange County jail and they're waiting trial, and it says 3 weeks before trial, it's all good until it's not. Again.
How long? They don't say it in the documentary. How long do you think he was in jail? Because he gets to the U.S. and then he needs to get attorneys.
Right.
And they show his attorneys a lot, who I want to know your opinion on his
my
attorneys.
God.
But, because I have feelings.
Yeah,
but I was a little confused. He had to have probably been in there for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Because they've got to get his whole case together.
Oh, yeah. I am going to say he was probably in there before all hell broke loose. I would think at least 6 months to a year, I would think. I would think a while.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But 3 weeks before trial, Detective Peters says he gets a call from another police officer that says Hussein has escaped with 2 other inmates. Escaped from the jail. What the fuck is going on? Just, okay. So.
And it's not like just 2 regular old dudes. These are 2 very scary dudes.
No. So another murderer and another attempted murderer. So Jonathan Tu, who's 20 years old, and Bok Duong, who's 43 years old. They are Vietnamese Americans. And like I said, they are charged with murder and attempted murder.
Gang affiliated.
And so Ryan calls both Heather and Matt and says, look, you need to get officers on your homes and or drive over to your office, and we're not quite sure what these guys are going to do. And Heather is like, what do you mean? You think he's going to come after us? What the fuck is going on? So she goes over to her office. She starts making phone calls. She calls Courtney's attorney, Lou, to try and get a hold of Courtney.
Poor
Courtney.
Lou having to make that phone call.
Right. So Lou tries to call Courtney, and Courtney is not answering. What? Right now, everybody's got their cell phone like this, right, in their face. Apparently, in 2012, we did not have our cell phones in our face.
Well, she was sleeping. She was asleep.
Yeah. So Lou sent over some officers at 5 o'clock in the morning to bang on her door, and wakes her up, and they say, he has escaped, and she loses her shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, well, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Because she's the reason he got caught.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So, not only did he escape, but he filmed the whole fucking thing. He filmed it.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I can't.
So we get to know exactly how he did it.
I cannot with this man. He somehow gets someone to give him a hacksaw
in jail.
The man.
They still don't know how he did that.
No. So he cuts through the grate in his cell with the hacksaw.
But he does it really, really well.
Yeah.
Because he does it in such a way that you can put the grate back on and you don't notice when you're looking at it that it's been cut.
Yep. And then we see in the video that he's filming himself walking through the other part of the jail where it's called, it's like Gen Pop, where they have all the other prisoners. They've got the bed, so it's not like he's in a cell. The other prisoners have the beds, their bunk beds, in a giant room. And he's just walking through, filming himself, walking through and filming the other inmates. And he's making sure nobody's telling on him while he's filming himself walking through. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know how he's not getting anybody to say anything, right?
Yeah, there is something about Hussein where you and I can see it as we're watching this. Courtney's parents could see it watching this. We'll talk about his attorneys. But I guess when you are one-on-one with him, you get sucked in. There's something that just sucks people in about him. He's so charismatic.
I don't know.
He's a good-looking guy. He's not a dumb guy. But he's also just... I guess we're seeing it all on the outside with all of the awful things that he's done. But if you're one-on-one with him, you are going to be under his spell very quickly.
I guess.
And he's done it to these fucking Orange County gang members, murderers.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're my best friend. I will do whatever you want.
I know. What is happening?
I don't know.
Yeah. So he goes through the grate. He has to get through a series of plumbing tunnels. He cuts his way with the hacksaw through these plumbing tunnels, which has got to be disgusting. And
he's in the sewers.
Yeah,
basically.
he's in the sewers. And then he makes a ladder with bed sheets that look like fabric swings that he has made together.
Intricate and well done.
Yeah. He got that in the military. That 100% he
Oh, really?
was taught in the military. Absolutely, he was taught that in the military. So he makes these ladders to go up to the roof, and then they rappel off of the roof, off of the jail. That's how they get out. They're filming the entire thing.
And they look so casual as they're doing it. You know those guys that do hardcore videos?
Yeah.
It looks like just a bunch of friends doing crazy, silly things.
Yeah.
They're escaping the jail.
Yeah.
And here's exactly how they did it.
The level of narcissism in this man is, I don't know. So after they get out of jail, then they kidnap a taxi driver. There's a little bit of confusion there because I think when they end up interviewing the taxi driver afterwards, they just call for one. But, they call for one, but they end up, they take him and they don't let him go. So, it's technically kidnapping. So they kidnap this taxi driver, this poor man, and they're on the run for, 7 or 8 days with this taxi driver. So they're out.
Taxi driver. 71-year-old man.
Right. This other
Did not need
Vietnamese American.
to deal with this shit.
Oh my God, no. So then we meet this Vietnamese American journalist who they decide to send to go do this search for these 3 escaped criminals for some way. But we learn a lot about Little Saigon, which I had no clue, spans 4 cities. Did you know that it was 4 cities wide? I had no idea.
I did not know that. I thought it was really interesting. Just like it's become its own cultural center, during the gold rush and everyone moved west and they've been able to kind of create this identity in that part of California. But the 2 guys, they just assumed like, okay, it's Hussein. And then these 2 guys, and they probably showed up in Little Saigon.
Yeah, so this reporter, she goes there thinking, okay, they're going to end up there. So she heads out there. She starts talking to people to see if they're out there. And they're not. Then we go back to Heather Brown, who's the assistant district attorney. And they're telling Heather, look, we need to alarm the public that these people are dangerous. And we want them to know this is bad.
We have no leads. We have no idea where they could be.
Oh, God, Heather.
They assumed that he would go to Mexico. Yeah. Wouldn't that be where you... Why didn't they go to Mexico?
I don't know.
There's so many things where I go, why did you go to San Francisco? It's expensive.
So Heather does this interview. I forgot about that part. She says, she's on TV and she's like, the public needs to be aware. These are very dangerous people. They have gang affiliations, right? They're in jail for murder and attempted murder and torture. And then her boss says there's a journalist, another reporter that wants to do a story. The reporter says, when you got the call that they escaped, what was your first thought? And she was like, oh my God, they let out Hannibal Lecter. Oh my God, don't write that. And then
she's like, off the record.
Never mind, off the record. No.
That's not how that works.
Right. And so then they write that story that they let out Hannibal Lecter, which ends up going viral, which ends up making
national
people,
news.
Right.
Everyone's
alarmed.
Actually looking, everyone suddenly cares.
Everybody then suddenly cares that she said, right, they let out Hannibal Lecter, which is really funny because I like Heather. Heather is really funny and...
She's got a real sense of humor about like, this is all so insane.
Yeah.
And also, her thought on it, she's the assistant DA, the DA, the detective on the case. Yeah. They're like, we have been hunting him for months and months and months and months and months and months. Mm-hmm. Like over a couple years, I think, at this point.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they've been hunting him and it's been that chase. And suddenly they feel like they're the ones that are going to be hunted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's nutty.
Yeah.
But the journalist, I love this journalist.
I really like her a lot.
She's just like, go get him. I am a detective now. I'm going to do all of these things. Mm-hmm. And she's interviewing everybody, just like kind of just randomly, just hoping to see what happens. Mm-hmm. I thought that she was really, and she's very clever.
Yeah.
Just very,
I liked her a lot.
Yeah.
So her name is Anne. And Anne says, I really want to try and find this taxi cab driver to see if he'll talk to me. So she starts looking through the advertising department of the newspapers to see if she can figure out where the taxi cab company came from that they used. And so she calls around, and one of the companies says, hey, this guy canceled his ad because he said he was kidnapped. And she's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And how, what would be the chances that it was this guy? So she calls the number, and he answers the phone, and it was him. His name is Long Ma, and he's 71 years old. And he's an independent driver. He owns the company. And he says, look, I'm at the grocery store in Little Saigon. And she's like, I'm
just
right.
irritated.
Yeah. She goes, I'm right over there. I'll meet you there. Don't leave, please. And so she goes over there, and she says, where's your car? I'll just take you to, and they go over and they get inside his cab, and they do the interview inside his cab, and she takes down the notes, and she's reading the notes from what he can remember, what happened, and it is just so incredible. This poor man, oh my God. She said day 1 was Friday, and he said they called the cab service, and that's why I said, they kidnapped him, which technically they did because they didn't let him go. They held him at gunpoint, and they drove him to an empty strip mall, and then they drove him to a motel, the Flamingo Inn in Rosemead, California. And then they stole this white van, and then they went back to this motel, and then they would turn on the news and watch the news of their escape, and would really find a lot of joy watching people talk about them.
Oh yeah, they were like laughing about it.
Yeah.
We still don't know how he got the hacksaw.
No.
Where did he get this camera? Where did they get a gun? Where did they get money?
Right.
What? I mean, I guess they could have stolen his money to make him pay for the hotel.
I suppose.
But like the gun, where did that come from?
What is going on? I know. This is insane. But then we see on the video the older gentleman.
Because they're still videotaping.
Yeah. The 43-year-old, Bok Duong, Hossein walks up to him and says, you know what I want to see? Bok Duong is sitting on the edge of the bed. He's smoking his cigarette. He puts out the cigarette on his shoulder, and
to prove that they're connected.
I don't know. It is disgusting. It's gross. And
they're like zooming in on it.
Yeah.
He's like, you're my true brother. And then they have this like, I don't know if they were drunk or what was going on, but they're like grabbing each other by the back of the head and like pushing their foreheads together. And you're like, are they going to kiss?
Yeah.
They didn't kiss.
I don't know.
But it was bizarre.
It was just gross. And they're again filming everything. Hossein is just this gigantic narcissist that cannot not watch himself on video. So then he says day 3 was Sunday. They're still at Rosemead, California, in this motel. And then Bok Duong, who's the guy that put the cigarette out on his arm, he gets in a fist fight with Hossein over the cabbie because Hossein wants to kill the cabbie because he has no use for him. And Bok Duong does not want the cabbie to die because he's feeling some sort of empathy towards him. And he's trying to keep this guy alive. And he's telling Long Ma, he's like, dude, I'm trying to help you. Just lay low, keep still, don't do anything. And then he says by day 5, that's Tuesday, they decide to drive to San Francisco. And they're driving in 2 cars now. They've got the cab and they've got the van. So Hossein is driving with the younger guy, Jonathan, and in the van, and Bok Duong is driving in the cab with the cab driver. And then by Wednesday, on day 6, they go to the beach in Santa Cruz, and then they get out at the beach and they pose in these weird pictures at the beach.
Like it looks like a friendship at the beach. Yeah, it was like, look how much fun we're having. Oh
really
my gosh. And
gross forced,
like lighthearted
pictures.
With the cabbie.
Yeah.
The cabbie has to smile in the pictures.
Yeah.
Even though he's in the middle of being kidnapped.
Yeah. And Bok Dwang tells the cabbie, like, Hossein wants to drown you in the ocean. He still wants to kill you. I'm trying to keep you alive. And we find out in the end, well, I guess we don't find out, but I'm kind of putting 2 and 2 together when he goes to jury trial, that Hossein is crazy enough and smart enough at the same time that I think he makes these videos and he does these pictures for like twofold to show, look, I'm not crazy. Look, would a crazy person, would a psycho, would a killer take all these nice pictures?
Do I look like a killer at the beach with this cabbie?
Right.
And you're like,
yeah, it's just weird.
It's weird.
Yeah. So anyway, day 7 is Thursday. And Hossein and Jonathan, the younger guy, they drive off to get the windows tinted in the van, which is weird. Again, a weird errand to go do.
Yeah.
And Bok Dwang and the cab driver, Long Ma, they decide, they're like, no. They drive back to SoCal. They're like, we're out. Which is a good choice. Good choice, guys.
I mean, after this series of horrible choices, it's the best thing he could have done.
Yeah. So they end up going back, and he goes to a business and tells...
It was like a convenience store?
Yeah, the business owner to call the police, have the police come arrest him and turn himself in. So weird. But anyway... The police
I don't know where the police station is. Can you just stay here?
I
We'll
don't
go
know.
to the 7-Eleven.
Like, I'm a murderer. I don't know where the cops are, but anyway. So yeah, the cabbie is fine.
Irritated, but fine.
Right. And then day 8 is when we find out that the homeless guy in San Francisco sees them come out of the van.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the video is. We see... Inside the video is Hossein filming himself and Jonathan smoking weed and eating bananas inside the white van.
In San Francisco.
On
the run.
Doing nothing. What are we doing?
It's just this dead end.
It's so weird.
See, okay, so I think this is a good point to, see what you think, because they start showing his attorneys at this point, and as he's on the run, Hussein has 2 attorneys. He's got his main attorney, who's this old dude, and then he's got this slightly younger attorney, super gorgeous, so pretty. I need to stop being so shallow, but I can't. Younger woman. And they're talking about while he's on the run, they are like, well, we just want to make sure that, we think that the police know that he's not dangerous. He's not going to hurt anybody. They know that he's smart enough to not want to hurt anybody. And they're saying this, these defense attorneys are saying this in a way that feels so earnest, yet at the same time, we have the cabbie going, he was trying to get the other guys to murder me.
What? I know.
Come on.
I know.
What did you think of the attorneys?
Well, the gentleman attorney, his name was Salvatore Chula, and not surprised. The gentleman, not surprised. I literally see a carbon copy of that every single day. That guy, he says all of those things because he literally has nothing to work with. And what I mean by that is he knows his client is guilty. He's grabbing at strings to try and figure out what to say to get someone to believe anything else about his guy.
It's like that viral video when they're talking. I don't even remember who they're talking about. They're like, but what about so-and-so? And they're like, so-and-so, he was the best guy around. He was so great. And they're like, but what about but he was a murderer. And they're like, what murder? Yeah. And that's the vibe I get from this. Although he was so sweet, he also looks like I want him to be my grandpa because he seemed very earnest and sweet, but also that he's defending Hussein and pretending like this isn't what's actually going on.
Yeah. No, I mean, he says, he's not going to shoot his way out. And I'm just like, well, maybe he's not, but I mean, stop. The woman, give me a break. I will tell you, they hired a woman on purpose to show that he's not some abuser type, I guess, against women because he tortured this man, because he's got this sort of sex-based crime, right? I know it's against a man, but they hired this woman on purpose as kind of this figure. Mm-hmm. And she was so gross to me. Like, I physically needed a shower every time she spoke. I felt so dirty.
I didn't know if she believed what she was saying because, on the surface, part of me was like, does she believe what she's saying? Right? Like, she can't be serious.
Yeah.
But she seemed very honest. She's one of those people that I say, they get close to him and they get sucked in.
Yeah.
And either she's very, very good at her job or she got sucked in.
You know what I thought?
And I don't know which it is.
I thought of Skip Jones again. Like, she really wanted to have sex with Hussein so bad when she was like...
Hussein had an aura behind him.
Yes! She was just like, when we were prepping for trial, he was like an attorney. He was calm. He was not this demon that everybody talked about. He was so smart. I'm like, woman.
She's like, I never saw any of that side of him that people are describing. I never saw anything like that.
What are you talking about? This man is disgusting. He had another man put a cigarette out on his arm. He was trying to drown
that video.
A 70-year-old cab driver. He cut off a dude's penis. And you're just like... fawning all over him. You are gross. Do you want to have sex with him? She was just gross. Like,
she tells the story about
oh my god,
how she's like, he wasn't eating. She was like, I was asking him how his lunch was, and he says he can't eat there because the food's too bad. So the next day, I'm getting my family ready to go, and I'm making my children's lunch. And my husband, here's the grossest part.
Yes.
She's like, my husband comes in and said, oh, babe, you don't need to make me lunch today. You don't need to make me lunch. And she's like, oh, this isn't for you. This is for Hussein. And he said, oh, he's got you too. So fucking awful.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No.
I am making lunch for the guy that escaped jail that they said was like Hannibal Lecter.
I'm dead. I'm dead with this woman.
And her husband hasn't met him, but is clocking what the... If I was her husband, I would be like, I am dead. We're going to marriage counseling.
Right.
This is not okay. Like, this is fucked up.
I am dead with this woman. Yeah, she was so gross. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. Yeah. So they're preparing for trial, and they use this jail escape video to soften the jury, is what their words were. The male defense attorney, Salvatore, he has a son who's a film major, and
this wasn't about anything but trying to get his son some work.
Yeah, so they clip it together with some Mission Impossible background music, and they
cut it all down to 15 minutes, and they make it a movie montage. What the... that seems insane. Have you ever seen anything like that in your job?
No.
That's not normal.
That's not okay or normal at all.
What judge went, show us the evidence?
Mm-mm.
If you're the DA and they're like, they're going to show this at trial?
No.
What?
No. That was so bad and so wrong on so many levels, to try and get the jury to be like, oh yeah, this man's okay. No, that's even worse. Like that, like you didn't read the room, sir. Like, I don't know how else to say it. When they said that they did that, and then they they used the beach footage and put the Elton John Rocket Man song.
Yeah.
So it was like a nod to Courtney to tell her that he wasn't coming after her.
Which, are you fucking serious? It's Courtney's favorite song. So it's him looking out of the ocean and Elton John going, think it's gonna be a long, long night. And you're like,
oh God.
Courtney, he's gonna fucking kill you. He's gonna kill you, Courtney. That was his message to Courtney. You know what you could do? Say like, hey, Courtney, sorry about that. Will not be killing you. Sending it in a song for at your trial. You maybe be more direct, because I interpreted that a whole different way.
Will not be killing you. Yeah. Anyway, it was totally bonkers again.
Yeah, and we have to also bring up the fucking lady lawyer again. She's like, he was so in love with her. I was like, do you still love her even after everything that she's done? And he was like, I know. And she was like, oh, he's
ew, so gross on so many levels. Like, I can't. But then we meet the Matt Gutman from ABC 2020, and he decides that he wants to interview Hossein. So he reaches out to him, and they correspond through letters and phone calls. And he shows us these 20-page letters that Hossein writes him, which are just insanity-based. Like, they should be studied, I think.
They look like if you were to go like, hey, ChatGPT, can you lay this out for me in an organized way? Because I just did all of my brain thoughts.
What?
Stream of consciousness. Yeah. Can you lay it out for me?
Yeah.
His handwriting looked like the handwriting font on a computer, but it's perfect.
Yeah.
And he writes the topics.
Yeah.
He's writing, every line has a number next to it, so you can very quickly find the thing that he's referencing.
Yeah.
And it was like topics, and then on the other column he would write his, like, the nuance or commentary to the facts in the topic.
Yeah. Who writes like that? No.
That's not normal.
Mm-mm. No. If I ask you to tell me about your childhood, just tell, but no, you have to write it like that? Like, I can't. So Matt was just out of control with he said he'd been doing that for 2 years with Hossein before he got to actually see eye to eye with him for what they called this contact visit, which did you get like scared when?
I mean, a little. They still had the glass, right?
Yeah, I just
and then
can't.
Is that what you're talking about when he sat down and you're like,
yeah.
I don't know how that journalist wasn't like, he was just so excited and so he's like, I have a story. There's something really interesting here. I've got all of this.
Yeah.
So he was just excited about his job.
Yeah.
But Hossein's presence on the videotape that we are watching, I was so uncomfortable by his demeanor.
Yeah.
He seemed like, again, like an AI robot. He seemed like he was putting on like a farce. It was very uncomfortable. When
he walked in, so Matt Gutman, the reporter, said, he's going to be chained. It's going to be safe. It's fine. So, and then Hossein walks in and he's in a white button-down shirt and jeans. And he did have chains, handcuffs on his hands, but his hands were able to be so far enough apart that he had his hands in his pockets, which were fine, but they were handcuffed. And Matt said hello to him, and Hossein smiled. His smile was so sinister, everybody. He smiled with his eyes like a squint. I don't know if you've ever seen America's Top Model where you smize. Everybody, if you're not watching this on video, if you're watching audio, it was
you
so
smile, but only with your eyes.
It was so creepy and not genuine at all. No,
and then he holds eye contact with the reporter.
Yeah.
And then it's like he's telling himself to blink.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't blink.
No.
He goes, blink.
Yeah.
It's this very methodical. You can tell in his mind he is thinking about every single thing he does down to the mannerisms of every part of his body.
Yeah.
To be as approachable and warm and whatever that it is he's trying to convey.
Yeah.
But it reads as so false. Low-hanging fruit. It feels very Jax Taylor to me.
Oh,
like when Jax Taylor does his Instagram post and he's like, I'm just trying to be a good dad.
Yeah.
And he's like holding a book upside down. You know, you're like, come on, guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's trying to tell Matt, it'll be okay, Matt. It'll be fine, Matt. And you're just like,
it's all
that's
going to come out just fine.
Gross. He's asking you a question and you're telling him what to do. It was yuck. Matt's like...
Well, it also seemed like it was like he was doing an interview before his movie came out. And he's like, I guess you'll just have to watch. You'll just have to see in trial. I can't talk about that right now, but you'll know. You'll see when the trial comes out.
Oh, it was so awkward, so manipulative, and so weird. And
the journalist said, I could tell every single thing he was doing was to manipulate me.
Yeah. You could feel that. It was so
I've
gross.
never seen it to that extent ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are people that you meet and you're like, doesn't read right.
Mm-hmm.
It was his manipulation and his like very calculated everything. Yeah. It saturated everything he did, he said, how he moved. It felt wrong watching it.
I can't imagine being married to that.
Well, I guess in person you get sucked into it.
I don't know.
Right? Like we have the benefit of a distance that a lot of these people just got sucked right into.
I don't know. So then we come to the jury trial. And the jury trial, ladies and gentlemen, was 7 years after the crime took place. That's how long it took to, find this man, extradite this man. The man escapes from jail, get him back. I mean, and then put all of this together to have this goddamn trial. And I'm thinking, this is going to be the funnest thing I have ever seen, because this man is the biggest narcissist on the planet, and all he wants to do is talk about himself. That's all he wants to do, is get up there and talk about how great he is, and how he had nothing to do with it, how he doesn't even know who this Michael person is. He's never seen him before. Why would I be there? I don't know who this guy is.
And it's like he thought everyone would just gloss over the fact that they have all of this evidence. And he's like, what evidence?
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. So, Mary gets on the stand, Mary Barnes.
Oh, Mary.
She testifies.
God,
right.
I love Mary.
She's so super intense. Right.
She's so composed. Again, like she gets up there and it was cinematic. She's explaining exactly what happened. She's explaining what she experienced. Yeah. But she's just so poised and together. And she's like, I needed to get up there. I wanted my voice to be heard. Yeah. And then you see this single tear fall down her cheek as she's so strong telling them what happened. And I was just like, Mary is incredible. Yeah. She's why Michael S. is alive.
Yeah.
What she went through is so insane, and she's amazing. Yeah. So good for Mary.
And then we have Michael. Michael gets up there, and poor Michael has to relive the whole thing again. And he's just telling all over again about being beaten and having a blowtorch to his back and having them, cut off his penis again and the bleach poured over him again and all of this again. Having to face Hussein and having to tell this again. I mean, just that is so demeaning, and having to say all of these things. All of that is so super intense. So he has to say all of that. And then Courtney, poor Courtney, how scary does that have to be to face your husband, knowing what she did, all the phone calls to get him extradited
for
back.
Months.
Right.
Months and months of these phone calls that ended up leading to him getting caught.
Right. They asked her the question, you basically did all of this for self-serving reasons,
Yeah, you're getting something out of this.
No.
There's a reason that you got to.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
This is insane. I thought she did a really good job.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
you could tell, like, she was shaking and stressed probably through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that the defense attorneys were doing their job in saying, you're just doing this to get some, but, and they're trying to throw out her credibility.
Yeah.
And then the DA is like, yeah, but do you remember that thing about the dog? Like,
right.
She's not going to tell us that and not be credible.
Yeah, right. And then the defense attorney, we hear him say, we tried to prepare Hossein and say, this is what they're going to try and make you lose your temper. And Hossein was like, I know what to say. He's not going to catch me in anything, and his attorney was like, that lasted all of like 2 minutes.
Like he thought he fucking had it. Don't you not want to go on the stand in your trial?
Yeah. 9 out of 10 of them don't.
Don't go.
That's
don't
why
go
I
on the
said,
stand. You shut your fucking mouth.
This man is a narcissist of all narcissists, and I know that's why they testify. I can clock these men from next door. I will tell you that guy's going to testify because he is a narcissist and he can't help himself. And he's going to lead to his own downfall. That's what they do. That's what they do. But when he's under direct examination, which means when his attorney is questioning him, he's crying and he's saying all the right things and he's a victim. I don't know this guy and I wasn't here, and he was saying all the right things when his attorney was asking him questions. When I'm saying him, Hossein, right? When he's under direct examination, when that was going on. But then when he's under cross-examination by Matt is when that lasted all of the 2 minutes.
Matt Murphy is just a national treasure.
Yeah.
So good at his job. So hot. Good job, Matt Murphy.
Sir.
Well, even his lawyer was like, and we lost.
Yeah.
Like,
they just,
before they even get that far into it, because he's combative.
Yeah.
Matt Murphy's like asking basic questions. Where did you get this stuff? And he's like, have you been to a Home Depot? You haven't been to a Home Depot? That's where you find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
it's
shit.
Yep. No.
All of that very carefully curated persona just immediately went, I don't know how to say it. I sound like an old mom. He stepped to him.
Yep.
And he immediately was like on the defense.
Yeah.
But you
can't do that stuff. And then when the judge says, sir, I need you to answer the questions. But then when you're combative with the judge, he's just shoving it down my throat. Well, you can't do that either. You're trying to look smarter than the judge in front of the jury. That doesn't go over well. And when the judge says, I need to excuse the jury, right? All of that is bad. All of that is bad. When you have to excuse the jury over and over and over again, all of that is bad. The defense attorneys are like, we're losing. This is not good. And so Matt Murphy says, the last question I asked him was, when you were out in the desert and you cut off this man's penis, why couldn't you just leave it there for him to reattach it? And he said, and that's when that was it. That's when he lost it. And that's when he said, you're done.
Yeah. I was like, what is he doing? It was so uncomfortable.
Well, that's all he needed to do. And that's when I explained to Steve, that's why I explained to Steve, I'm like, all he needs to do is show the jury that this man has a temper. This man is a terrible person. That's it. He doesn't have to have this man answer questions like, yes, I was there. Yes, I did this. Yes. He doesn't have to do that. He just have to have this man get mad. That's it. That's all he has to do. And that's what he did. And
he did.
It was over. He just said, you're done. I'm not going to give you an answer, and I'll answer that for you personally. And I mean, he personally attacked him with his answers. It was a personal threat towards Matt. It was gross.
It was crazy. I forgot about that because he did very thinly veiled threat at the DA.
Yeah.
Seems like the wrong place and time to threaten him while you're on the stage.
A little bit.
All of these people.
Yeah, he's like, you don't deserve an answer. Go ahead and sit down. Like, he's telling him what to do. And you just see the two defense attorneys whisper to each other. And that's when they said, it's over. We're done. Everybody in the room, if you do that job, you know when they've lost. And he knew he lost. And...
well, he thought he had it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He thought he was in the place of power in that moment.
Yeah. It was incredible. So the jury got the case on Monday. Tuesday went by. Wednesday went by. Thursday, the jury found him guilty.
Well, they were worried that it was going to be a hung jury because they didn't expect it to take that long. Yeah. They were like, he just needs to convince one jury member. Yeah. And they said, didn't they say they thought it was like this plain little mousy girl?
Yeah.
In the jury had fallen for him. And I was like, that's not nice. Ew. They don't know. She found him guilty. You don't call her names.
Gross. Weirdo. Yeah. So he got sentenced to life in prison without parole. But he, in a separate case, they said Hussein was found not guilty of kidnapping the cab driver, Long Ma. Yeah. And that's why I said before that they called for the cab driver to pick him up after they escaped. So I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. I guess they said that Kyle Hanley was sentenced to life in prison without parole, so he must have had a jury trial, and because they said he didn't plead guilty, so he must have had a trial.
I mean, I don't think Kyle Hanley was a mastermind behind any of it, but he clearly participated. And how do you be part of that? I mean, if you're part of that, you should be done. It was horrific.
Yeah. But yeah, they obviously get charged with escape. That's another life sentence right there, that escape charge. So he's not.
Escape from jail is a life sentence?
Yeah, you're not going anywhere for escape.
Oh, no. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, escape's bad. Yep, that's bad.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. But also...
how do you get a hacksaw in the jail, people? I don't know.
But you had mentioned this earlier. They talked about what is the moral of the story here.
Yes, I know.
And Heather, the assistant DA, she was like, you don't secretly marry a guy that you met working at Mimi's. Which I thought she's funny. I don't know. I really liked what the DA said. And he said that this was his last case before he retired. So he went out with a bang. And they have a montage of him surfing. Yeah. As he's saying that what he thinks the moral of the story is that, good does triumph over evil. Yeah. And there are bad guys, but there's a lot more good guys who are going to come in and save the day. So, yeah, there is Hussein, who is a terrifying human being, but there's a lot more good people who are working to get justice for what he's done and help the people who he's hurt. Yeah. Like Mary Barnes. Yeah. So I liked that. I thought that was really nice. And, I think how horrific for poor Michael S. after he just seems like a good, easygoing guy. Just wants to go to Vegas and smoke pot and grow pot. Sure. And make a business out of it. But it was nice that there was no murder this time. Oh my god! Even though Hussein wanted to a few times. There was the car accident. I don't know if that counts as I guess it does. Yeah. Technically. Yeah. I'm not going to get a debate over technicalities in legal verbiage again. I can't deal with that after last week's TikToks. But
oh my god. Yeah.
Crazy. So, it was a good one. I think it's on Hulu. definitely worth a check out. Next week, we are off because Keeley is cooler than I am. She's going to go on an adventure. And then after that, when you get back, we are going to do a double feature of the Valley because Valley finale is next week. And we'll talk about this week's as well. Yeah. Which I think we can wrap up all together.
Oh, yeah.
We can address the news from today, though, that you sent me this morning.
Yay!
Jax is stepping down from the next season of The Valley. So he won't be in the season 3 of The Valley. I mean, a lot to unpack there. Do you think he decided on his own? Or did they tell him, like, you need to get your shit cleaned up before we can let you back on this TV because enough people... You think they're mad at Sierra. They're way madder at you for throwing tables.
Yeah. No, I think they asked him to leave. I think it's the whole, this is my show, bad karma.
Well, he's still going to get money, right? Because he's still technically a producer. Brittany's technically a producer.
Sure.
I think they're leaving the door open for him to come back if he can get his shit together.
I guess.
If he can reform himself, then maybe he can come back. I will say they're going to have to shake up this cast. And I don't know if adding Sheena is going to work either. Because everyone's fucking pissed at Sheena.
I know, huh?
Including me. But I've never been a Sheena Shea fan.
Me either. But I'd almost rather watch her than the Jax, though. I don't know.
There was something, we'll talk about it next time, but there was a couple things that she said that as Matt and I were watching it this week, Matt went, oh.
Yep, yeah.
Fucking Sheena.
Yep.
Sheena Shea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, none of this is going to work out the way that she had hoped.
Agreed.
Agreed. And that just goes to show everyone, good triumphs over evil. There are more good people than bad people in the world.
Yes.
Jax Taylor will not be on our televisions next year. Hooray.
Celebrate.
Have so much fun.
Thank you.
I'm going to miss you so bad. Send me so many pictures.
Okay.
And we will get back to you guys in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.